Hello, this is Reverend Tim McCloyne, Trinity Baptist Community Church Youth Pastor. Welcome to Tay Next Gen. Stands for Think About It So We Can Talk About It. My gimbal's not behaving, so I'm holding my phone. Hopefully I can flip this camera and talk about our lesson here. So let's try it. We're on our final commandment, which is the 10th commandment. And you will see this is what my board looked like today. Our scripture text came from Ephesians 5:5, and it is the second time that we've used this particular verse. We used it for when we went through our second commandment, and I will try to read it out of the kids' version of their Bible, although I like the King James Version a little bit better, but I can't film and pull that one up at the same time. But it says, here is what you can be sure of. Those who give themselves over to sexual sins are lost. So are people whose lives are not pure. The same is true for those who always want more and more. People who do those things might as well worship statues of gods. No one who does them will receive a share in the kingdom of Christ and of God. And it basically says is a covetous man who is also an idolater. And that's when we actually went through our second commandment, which happens to do with bowing down to false idols and idolatry, and kind of let them know that even when our own desires exceed that of God, that's a form of idolatry. But one way in memorizing the 10th commandment and how it impacts us is you can see I drew kind of a heart here with the word the 10th, and around it we kind of talked about all the commandments, and having a impure desire of other people's things can, one, lead you to not honor your parents, because, if they told you can't have it and you desire your neighbor's stuff, and it'll oftentimes lead you on a path of illicitness, and that could lead you not only to dishonor, but to lie. That lie can also lead you to stealing, maybe not so much with children, but we did see this in King David. But his desire for another man's wife led him to adultery, and that adultery he tried to cover up with murder. So again, we kind of talked about how that covetousness, idolatry, cause you to break the first two easily. If you're not listening to God's desire, you're probably not listening to your parents. And we saw a direct correlation of how illicit desires can lead us to stealing, adultery, killing, and certainly lying. So one easy way, and I thought, in order to have a visual to help them remember covetousness and coveting that of others. That concludes our series in the 10 Commandments. I'm debating on whether or not to kind of do something next week that kind of capstones it. And the purpose of the law in the life of the non-believer versus that of the believer. Or because we're entering into Easter, I may go on into some things that surrounds around Easter and maybe a few weeks to here to kind of reinforce the tenets and things around the resurrection. So be praying with us, praying for us. Again, we're praying for you, and until next time, we're able to be here at Tay Next Generation. This is Reverend Tim McCloyne, Trinity Baptist Community Church International. God bless.